I will, and the wall just got 10 feet taller, believe me. It's got 10 feet taller.
That's funny.
I saw him make a statement.
Putin, you gotta see this!
What? I am having great time watching American sitcom.
This is more important than America, Vlad.
That is a low bar.
This is about the survival of the human race. Look at the news.
What the fuck is this? You bring me paper news? Why not on cell phone?
I started a war with a country no one even knew existed and used that to tax the people outrageously in order to become Empress of the US. No one can afford cell phones anymore, which sucks for me because I can't wiretap them now.
But you didn't win presidency. You lost to a fucking idiot.
That's not important, just read the paper.
Well, I don't see anything wrong. I don't know what you're sweet, Lennon. Hillary, how did this happen? Did you nuke him too?
No, it's worse. You know that video series he does, Media Reloaded?
Yes, I love it. Very communist in nature.
Well, he was making a new one, but his fans are all fucking retarded and voted for 2 again.
Those monsters! Hasn't he suffered enough? What movies were they?
Well, one was Dragonheart 4.
There's more than one Dragonheart movie?
Sadly, yes. The other was a movie somehow worse than The Room.
Excuse you, comrade. The Room is greatest movie ever. True American film. What could possibly be better than Tommy Wiseau's masterpiece?
Vlad, he started watching a movie called Birdemic.
Oh, don't say that title, it is cursed. Quickly, we must act now before Wolf goes to hell.
How do you know he'll go to hell?
2 reasons. 1, he is atheist, exactly same as Stalin, not even nuanced. 2, there are fox boys there. So do you like missionary or doggy style? Cause I can work fine with both. Quick, my love, fetch Wolf's corpse. We must bring him back to life before he's consumed by fox yif, or worse.
Everything's ready.
Come back to me, sweet prince. 3, 2, 1, clear.
Lord Vader, can you hear?
I hate all of you! I think you did this on purpose. Yeah, don't you try denying it. I know for a goddamn fact that as soon as you saw Dragonheart 4 and Birdemic on the list, the very first thing you said to yourself is, huh, wouldn't it be grand if Wolf fucking killed himself? Now, I don't personally fault you for that thought process because I agree blowing my brains out would be fucking spectacular. Unfortunately, I totally object to your methods in which you've tried to get me to kill myself because fucking hell was this torture. Dragonheart 4 and Birdemic are 2 of the biggest shit stains I've ever covered on Media Reloaded. They're also the first 2 live-action movies I've covered on Media Reloaded. Things are not looking up for it so far. Dragonheart is this movie that virtually no one actually remembers until someone reminds you that it exists. But everyone knows that one song from the soundtrack that was used in virtually every movie trailer for like 6 years that none of you actually knew was from the Dragonheart soundtrack. Yeah, don't fucking lie about it. You had no idea this was from Dragonheart. You just assumed it was a track that every Disney movie ever started using out of nowhere. I am seriously willing to bet that 99% of you had no idea this was from Dragonheart because the last time any of you actually watched Dragonheart was when you were 7, which means you're probably gonna be shell-shocked when you looked at the images for the movie and find out that it actually looks like this. Memory's a bitch, ain't it? So until all of you go totally gay and start jerking it to foxboy porn, which you can only prove by sending said foxboy porn to my Twitter for educational purposes, I will remain adamant that none of you actually remembered that. Send me gay furry porn. Dragonheart 4 is the only Dragonheart movie I've seen since Dragonheart, which I haven't seen since I was 7. I genuinely had no idea that there were any more Dragonheart movies, so you can understand my bewilderment when I found out that there were 4 of them. I found out about it by accident when I saw what I assumed to be a shitty YouTube fan movie until I realized that said shitty YouTube fan movie is available on DVD and features Patrick Stewart. Patrick, how much fucking money do you owe? And when I call this a YouTube quality fan movie, I mean that literally, because this has the production quality of an actual YouTube fan movie. I mean, what can you expect from a movie literally edited by Chuck Norris? The fuck? Chuck Norris? Holy shit! Holy fucking shit, it's Chuck fucking Norris! The movie begins with some of the most bland, shaky cam close-up bullshit I've ever seen. You know, this shit actually works in some movies, but it feels really off here. We find out that a fat ass fucked this reasonable 6 out of 10 who gave birth to a couple abominations with scales on them. I like to pretend that this is the Dragonheart universe's version of AIDS, only instead of being started from a guy fucking a monkey, it's from a guy getting knotted by a precious dragon boy. So basically the bitch dies and he takes his stupid babies away to kill them, which we immediately find out didn't happen because then we wouldn't have a plot to the movie. We fast forward to find that the boy has superpowers where he can juggle human beings and throw them like a football. No one thinks anything of it and sees this as being perfectly 100% natural. Yep, superhuman strength despite being 14? That makes total fucking sense. Then we go to the king who's dying and then Patrick Stewart arrives in his beautiful Dragon Age Origins quality model. Despite being a dragon, he's not particularly big, and apparently despite Draco being the last dragon ever, there's still more dragons somehow. I'm guessing I missed this in the totally legitimate expanded universe of lore set up by these totally unnecessary movies. Anyway, so I guess this movie totally ripped off the premise of Aragon where the dragon and his rider both die if the human dies, and the human dies and Patrick Stewart dies and then the movie ends. Bye. No, wait, resurrection time! Oh god, this is happening now. All I wanted was for one of these stupid fucking characters to— Does anyone else have a strange sense of deja vu? I feel like this is a reoccurring theme in my videos. So he doesn't die because apparently he's attached to these 2 fucking kids he never knew about until now because he didn't die, which makes total fucking sense. So everyone in the movie proceeds to forget all about the dead king that we're supposedly meant to care about, and then he flies away to find Superman. Superman is doing Superman things like beating the shit out of anyone he doesn't like by picking them up and physicsing them into a barn. I guess this universe goes by the Zack Snyder version of Superman.
Doesn't need you. Tell me. Do you bleed?
So anyway, Superman is doing Superman things like beating the shit out of anyone he doesn't like, which leads to his shirt randomly ripping for no reason, which exposes his scaly herpes. That's what you get for not using protection! Get your dragon-sized Trojan condoms now on sale at your neighborhood JCPenney at the low price of $59.99. Get fucked, you god-hating fag. So Patrick Stewart, oh yeah, his name is Drago in this movie. You know, Draco, Drago, Tomato, they're totally different. It's really fucking stupid. So Patrick Stewart bitch slaps Superman for being a cunt and breathes fire for literally no reason to show that he's surprised. You know, the incredulous look should have sufficed. I don't think it was totally necessary to literally light shit on fire because Superman said his dad has a name you recognized. Also, how does this make sense? So Patrick Stewart was butt buddies with the king who had a son and a daughter, and somehow 2 generations down the line, Patrick Stewart is still linked to them? I mean, I know you're trying to differentiate yourself from the series that you're very obviously totally ripping off, but your own inconsistent universe makes no fucking sense. So anyway, Patrick Stewart tells him that he's the new king because that's a terribly convenient plot convenience. Superman just accepts this and decides to use his powers for good so he can tell a bunch of women that are literally about to bathe him that he wants to smell like shit. You're really not using those powers to their full potential, buddy. So Vikings appear and Superman is excited to go kill them and Drago wants to burn them alive, but Superman tells him to suck a dick because that's not fun. So he rides out to the guys who are gay and tells them, hey, there's plenty of Dragon Boy to go around, everyone. His asshole's the size of a tank. We can break records with how many dicks we can fit in there. But the Vikings are closeted homosexuals and decide to decline the sweet dragon gift. And instead they bring out their greatest creation, a woman. Oh no! Oh yeah, I forgot about this. So let's rewind. So basically, Patrick Stewart starts bitching at Superman because when he gets hurt, Patrick Stewart is also supposed to get hurt. The fact that this doesn't happen bothers him for some reason, and Superman explains that he once had a sister who died, and thus begins the first of like 20 really unnecessary flashback sequences. So you can imagine how totally unsurprised anyone was when his sister, who's basically Katara but with firebending and resting bitch face, magically appears to be running the Viking clan. Yeah, that makes total sense. Oh, and her boyfriend is the guy who thinks he's Odin's fire for... I don't really know, to be honest. So they call off the battle to talk it out, where we find that Superman's sister is a total cunt. In the rest of the movie, she shall be referred to as such. And then they have a flashback where Cunt is being sold to a boatman. Cunt wants to be the queen because she was born like 2 minutes before Superman was, and just like any other woman, she intends to do so by whining about it. Superman refuses, and then they all go to bed, leaving practically no guards to watch. Okay, so Patrick Stewart can sense things, right? I mean, his sense of sense is pretty selective, given that he can't sense shit until it's convenient for the plot. But this is also a dragon we're talking about, right? He literally says he can sense that Superman isn't sleeping, yet when Cunt walks literally right up to him and firebends his fire away, this somehow goes totally unnoticed. For a dragon that's literally called Drago the Wise, you're a fucking retard. So once he realizes he can't breathe fire, he gives up despite having claws and fangs and a huge body and wings and a spiked tail. Nope, without fire, he literally can't do anything, even crush the bitch and take the fire back. So the bitch tries to burn Patrick Stewart, which hurts her because she's the only one who shares pain. First off, why would she be shooting fire at a dragon? Wouldn't he be like, totally immune to that? Also, if she's clearly feeling pain as she's doing it, why does she keep doing it? Oh, right. Without love. So because Patrick Stewart lost the fire, the entire kingdom gives up and lets like 50 Vikings rule over them. Superman is then banished for being a queer, and Cunt begins her dark reign of treating everyone like shit except for this one bitch who throws a conniption fit because she doesn't want to marry a hairy guy, so she calls off the marriage because she's a strong female character. Anyway, so Superman goes to his friends who aren't actually his friends because they sell him into slavery. Then we have another flashback where Superman and Cunt are treated badly because they have scaly herpes. Then Superman is saved from being butt-fucked by the Vikings, and Superman tells Patrick Stewart via flashback how Cunt murdered their father by burning him for no reason. Because she's a cunt. So then we go over to Cunt Kingdom, where Cunt is doing cunting things like female empowerment. You know, this movie repeatedly tries to make it seem like she's the good guy while also repeatedly making her out to be a total bitch. I genuinely don't know if they wanted me to root for her or... So they hatch a plan to take Patrick Stewart's fire back because he's dying without it. So rather than, you know, smashing into a castle and just stealing it because he's a fucking dragon, they do a long and really needlessly complicated covert ops mission where Superman discovers that the Vikings are trying to kill Cunt because she's a cunt! Then they both lose the dragon fire to the Vikings, then Patrick Stewart flies them away and tells them to kill each other. That's really counterintuitive, isn't it?
Because I would have done this much sooner.
So they do exactly that and find out that they're in a place where they were once in, and they have another flashback. Then Patrick Stewart confronts them and they have another flashback where it turns out that Superman accidentally killed their dad. He did this because he pushed him into a wall with a nail that was just sticking out of the wall for no reason. This emotionally destroys him, and he and his sister decide to have passionate incestual sex to make up for their Wait, sorry, that's the wrong script. I was reading off my fanfiction page. So he and his sister decide to steal back the fire and do it in the dumbest way ever. So Cunt immediately gets shot and the Viking eats the dragon fire, which makes him fabulous! And then Superman stabbles him, like, immediately and he dies and the Vikings run away because yeah. So then Superman takes the dragon fire and uses it to heal his cunt sister because apparently having a bitch related to you is more important than a dragon. Just saying, one is objectively cooler than the other. Then Patrick Stewart dies and the movie ends literally the exact same way as the first Dragonheart movie did, with the same music and after-death monologue and everything. I see originality isn't this movie's strong suit. Now you may be thinking shit can't possibly get worse than this, but it can. Oh, it fucking can. Dragonheart 4 was retarded, but it was at least almost competent. It at least kinda functioned in some discernible way. Birdemic doesn't function on the basis of anything. This movie makes about as much sense as sounding. Yeah, try looking that up on Google Images. Okay, so the movie starts off with, no joke, 4 minutes and 15 seconds of driving. You know the movie Spaceballs? You know, the one that starts off with a ship that takes like half a forever to fly by? The reason that worked is because that was a joke. It was making fun of Star Wars. This doesn't work because it goes on way too fucking long and it's not a joke because the director unironically thinks this is a good movie. Okay, so after watching this boring shit for what feels like an eternity, we're introduced to the dopiest fucking moron ever put to film. This guy with a fat ass. He goes into a Stanley Kubrick is a bitch compared to this. Fuck me.